Morning, guys. How's it going? It's pretty mad that we're here. It's a mad fest, isn't it? So what I'm going to talk to you about is how we can transform and make bold changes in something that's an industry which is maybe a bit boring. So it's a great story, which I'm going to give in some examples, and you're going to take away some useful next steps. So stay with me. It's a journey. But first of all, let me invite you to my world, telco, and its customer. Do we know what telco stands for? Do we know what it is? Telco, it's kind of a hip term for telecommunications. Everything broadband, landlines, TV, everything that you can think of, telecommunications. So let me tell you a bit about telco. It stands in between boring and quite exciting. So let's be honest with ourselves. Telco is fucking boring. All right? I'm not gonna hide in the bushes with this. Telco is fucking boring. But is it? Is it boring? Right? Broadband from space, data centers, ChatGPT, mobile in your pocket, talking to your families, talking with your friends, live streams, advertising. Nothing would be possible without telco. So all the innovation, all what's going on around us, the AI, is because of telco. So is it boring? It's actually really exciting. It's really exciting when you think about the different use cases and scenarios that underpins telco industry. So, great. What about the customers? These are the customers that I deal with on a daily basis. They come to our website once every 18 to 24 months. Once every year and a half or to 2 years, when their contract ends. So they visit on an average of 1 hour. 1 hour. Nobody comes to a broadband provider or a telco website to get inspired. Nobody comes to just elevate their day. You said it, it's boring. That's why. So we have 1 hour every year and a half to 2 years to capture their attention. But already, customers coming to our website are in a state of mind of complaining. It's a hustle. It's a commodity. The negative scent around broadband and telco is there. Who was happy when the last time visited their provider? No one. No one. So this is the challenging environment that we have to deal with. That's our customer. But what are we trying to do? We're trying to do something which is elevating, harvesting the power of pattern. Don't forget the specifics of our customers. Once every 2 years. Do you remember the last friend that you met 2 years ago? You forgot everything about them. So you can store, you can try to personalize, but we don't have that. We don't have it. So what we need to harvest is the power of patterns. What's the power of pattern? Okay? Have you seen these familiar patterns? When you use your mobile device, you know when you swipe up with your thumb that you're going to see all your apps. You can remove them, you can scroll through them. You also like the 9 dots on the right-hand side. You know that's pretty much a hub of apps. You know these patterns, you know them, right? They're intuitive, they're part of your behavior. And every time when you figure it out, you're quite proud. You're like, yes, I got this. This is it. I know how to use it. I'm genius. But in reality, these are all familiar patterns that you've been once taught, that you've been once actually applied multiple times in your day-to-day stuff without you even knowing. Without you even knowing. So recognizing familiar patterns help us interpret situations quick and easy. And our brain rewards us for that. Because our brain, like we all do, lazy, right? Everything that's a bit lazy, our brain's like, yep, get you that light, get you that heart. The more you deal with familiar patterns, the happier you feel. Because you've cracked it, you figure it out. You know how to operate with stuff. So this is important because there is a science behind the power of familiar patterns. But where are those familiar patterns created? Where is this science? Like, who taught us how to use website, iPhone stuff? Like, this is the top 10 websites customers spend most of their time. So this is where the familiar patterns are created. This is where you're taught how to use or recognize certain individual patterns. So, I have to be, again, as you can see, I've been honest since I jumped on the stage. So if you're not part of these, like the iceberg, the top of the iceberg, you're trying to teach your customers about patterns, but most likely you're failing. That's the truth. That's the truth. So what do you need to do? You need to broaden your horizon. You need to go where your customers are. You can't stay stagnant. You can't stay in your path. You can't stay in your lane. Because do you know what happens? Let me give you an example. So it happens that you become a copycat. There is 2 websites, 2 brands, which shall remain unnamed, that are reseller of Virgin Media. And they decided to design their product cards, the most important thing, this way. Both of them are competitors, and they choose to design exactly the same. Very, very dull, very uninspiring, very much like just looking at each other. They have marketing teams, they have design teams, they have everything, they have all the power, and they look at each other and then design the same thing. So, another example. Company C, which sells, it's a competitor of ours, competitor of Virgin Media, sells broadband. This is their design of product card. Company D, this is their design of product card. Like, you can't even differentiate the brand behind those. Everything looks the same. And think about the customer at the beginning that I talked to you. Our customers come to the website every 18 to 24 months. But they spend most of their time elsewhere. And when they come, they see this. Ugh, how boring it is. How boring. That's why you need to lose sight of the shore. You need to get out of comfort zone. You need to get out of your path. Get out of your industry. But here's some rules which I have implemented and I'm like kind of asking the teams to operate by. So 3 rules. Don't look at competitors. Don't look at competitors. Please, because they look at you. But your customers are elsewhere. So go where your customers are. Don't look at competitors. Browse the internet during work hours. During work hours, this is what your customers do. They're on the internet. If you stay on your website and you go to your competitor website, come on, just go there. Be where your customers are. And final one, try new patterns. The more obscure, the better. Try something different. Try something that's very familiar to customers. That's something, a norm. And try out. But how would you be sure if those patterns will work? How are you sure that those rules that you live by actually bring some return on your investment? You're not sure. You don't know. That's why this is probably the most powerful strategy out there. I don't know. The moment you embrace this, the moment you find being comfortable saying, I don't know, you step further. Because from little ages, we are ingrained with this fear of looking incompetent. Like when we're at school, when we're in front of like big group, and when we ask something, you have to know. You're supposed to know. Otherwise, you look bad. But that's a fear which now grown-ups, we can try to break away, which we're trying to actually harness and use it to power our next steps. So I don't know allows you to be creative without boundaries. Because what does that mean? It means something comes to you, an idea comes your way, and you're like, I don't know how is this going to work. Let's try it. Let's experiment with it. Let's ask our customers. Let's do something with it, rather than just me trying to figure out, oh, no, that looks stupid. That looks like really bonkers, this idea. No, embrace the I don't know and turn it into an opportunity. What's the worst that can happen? That idea wouldn't work out? Yes, but you have the data. Yes, your customers are going to tell you that it's not going to work out. So experimentation is the only way forward. By embracing, I don't know, by trying new patterns, by going out of the path that it's your path in your industry, only through experimentation. What's experimentation though? Like, I was thinking, oh, should I just put some Oxford description or meaning about experimentation and just read out? No, let's go practical. So let's play a game. These are two pictures, which I believe one of those represent a true experiment. The other one doesn't. Let's play again. Let's engage with the crowd. Who thinks picture number one, the running one, is an experiment? Rise up. Who? Yep, somebody. Oh, shy. I'm not sure. Okay. Who thinks the second picture, skiing, is an experiment? Love it. Okay. We have a winner here. Maybe I should skip the slide. Maybe. But let me go through it. Let me go through it and see what's an experiment. First and foremost, you shouldn't know the outcome. It's an unknown effect. If you know what's going to be the outcome, don't do it. It's not an experiment. You know the answer. Don't try to be clever or smart about it. Unknown experiment. So we don't know who's going to win from the runners. We don't know who's going to win from skiing. So both 1-1. Carefully observing throughout the whole length of the experiment, knowing what's going on every single day of the experiment, knowing every single hour, what's the patterns. Looking at both pictures, can we observe the sprint? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, every single second. Can we observe the skiing? Absolutely. We can watch it, we can see what's going on. So both on par right now, okay? Controlled conditions. That's really important for experiments. You have to be able to allow for both or for the multiple variants to have the same conditions in place. Otherwise, you are giving advantage to something that's not actually good. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at a skiing. We can have a fog, we can have a rain, we can have snowing for one of the participants. But for the next one, it might stop. So actually, the controlled conditions are not equal for the skiing. They're equal for the sprinters because they all start from the same. And the last one, equal chance to win. So if I can't control the conditions and it starts snowing, the person who is skiing in snow doesn't have the equal chance for the one that's skiing without snow, right? Because the whole piste is going to get messy. But equal chance is on sprinting because everybody started from the same line. And this is important. This is why you need to take away experimentation needs to have 4 bits that need to be true in order to be true experimentation. Otherwise, you're skewing your data and you don't know what you're looking at. As simple as that. But let me give you some quick examples of experimentation with Virgin Media O2. Okay? Holidays, TUI. Very, very popular brand for holidays. And they're doing something which is really interesting. They're saying they're applying scarcity. X number of seats left. X number of rooms left. Because they're dealing with fine commodity. If the hotel is booked out, you're missing out. How are we using this in broadband? We're never going to run out of broadband. Well, we're applying the same pattern, same familiar pattern, and we're saying X number of people bought this broadband and worked the magic. It increased our conversion rate, increased our ability to sell more, purely because customers understood this pattern, realized that it's something popular, get reassurance. Brilliant. Next one, split the bill. Monzo introduced this, and they're brilliant doing it. You're paying something, you're with your friends, you split the bill really quickly. How did we introduce it? Well, we have a students page. And students, they share accommodation. And actually, they have to split the bill. So we introduced a bill splitter on our website because we understood what customers want and where they're coming from. All students love Monzo as well. So this worked magic again. And final one, it wouldn't be a mad fest without stories and Instagram, is it? So Instagram, we all know about stories, but how did we use it? Have you ever seen the boring copy about terms and conditions and how lengthy it is, how nobody knows about it, but then, oh, I didn't know that this was part of my contract? Of course. So we introduced stories for this. We actually give a customer a bite size of information to understand their bills, to get them focused, to get them concentrated and consume the information bit by bit. This was an experiment, and it worked. When somebody came to me and said, oh, let's do Instagram, so I said, oh my God, we're not gonna make it work. Experimented, worked, I know nothing, right? This is it. Make sure that you go out of your comfort zone. But it's not always perfect. I gave you some of our stellar examples of experimentation. But in reality, most of our experiments fail. Most of our experiments fail, and you should be fine with this because you found out what hurts you. So it's really important just to commit on velocity. The more experiments you run, the more you're gonna find out. And this is where AI comes and helps you, because if you commit yourself to exceeding velocity every single month or every single quarter, you start with a bunch of shit ideas, and then a bit more shit ideas, and then, oh, I need to run more experiments because I've committed myself to do it, right? But in reality, you have to leverage what's around you, and the more shit ideas you get rid of, the greater the impact is going to come downline. So think about this. But the most important thing which I want to leave you with, dare to push the boundaries. Get out of your path and try new stuff. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the talk.